and welcome back to the best thing we watched this week. We have Chris from Movies and Munchies over there, and myself over here, Ruben from the Ruby Tuesday. If you're joining us for the first time, thank you so much for joining us. This is the format. We talk about the best thing we watched in the video sequence of our podcast. In the audio exclusive, we talk about some of the things that didn't quite make it onto that list. Entertainment news, what we are looking forward to, and what else am I missing from that segment?
Like a special review, one that either we haven't seen before or it's been a long time or whatever. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then we have a Patreon that is just £1 to start off with, which is equates to about $1.50. And we are adding to that every week. Have over 60 videos on that now. This week we're talking about our top 3 films that we love that people hate, which is an interesting way to go with it, because normally you talk about your top 3 best. This one is, those where people go, oh yeah, so hated, and you're like, but I love that film. Why? How could you not see the amazingness of that film? That's what we're going to be talking about. We always start with a movie quick quiz, which Chris does, and then I ask a stupid question if I can think of one, but then we just jump in. If you are returning and you've been with us for like every week, thank you so much. We have a niche audience, I think. We're growing a good community. We have those that comment on pretty much every one of our videos, from Chris Retzlaff to everyone that just really is jumping in and giving us their opinions, whether they're different from us. That's great. We're not sheep. We like to have a good kind of dialogue, a discussion. We keep it civil as much as we can, but if there's anything racist or stupid, you're done. There's no 3 shots. You're just done.
Done. Yeah. Yep.
I think I've covered everything. Welcome.
Hello. Oh man. Okay. So you ready to talk about the movie quote quiz from last week?
Yeah.
Okay. So Tara Briscoe got all 3. Chris Retzlaff got 2, and then had a little bit of help from IMDb, which really means a lot of help. But he knew the theme beforehand, and same with Nostromo, got 2 out of 3, knew the theme as well. The theme was John Goodman films.
Nice.
So number 1 was King Ralph, which long time ago. It's been forever since I've seen that.
It's old, yeah.
I don't even know if it's good. I don't remember. Second one is Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? Classic, love that.
Yeah.
Coen Brothers.
Yeah.
And then the third one, more obscure, a Kevin Smith film, Red State.
Nice. Yeah, that's a deep cut, but I actually like it. I think it's all right.
Yeah.
A lot of people hated it.
I enjoyed it too.
Oh,
yeah, the
different.
commentary and stuff was good also. Okay, so this week, theme again, but I'm going to tell you what the theme is because they're not actual quotes. Okay. So it's time or date.
Oh, right.
Okay.
We have to guess the time or the date.
No. You just have to guess the movie that came from.
All right,
I'm going to give you the time or the date.
Right.
Okay. So, July 3, 1984, 5:30 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time.
Okay.
28 days, 6 hours, 42 minutes, 12 seconds.
Okay. That's interesting. Fun.
Okay. And then November 12th, 1955.
Good. Yeah.
So let us know. Some of those, I think if you write them out, some of them might actually make a...
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a line I want to say for the last one, but I'll just give it away. So.
That's right. I knew one of them would be at least pretty recognizable to you. But let us know in the comments. We'll give you the shout out next week. As always, we ask you give a little bit of space in your comment before you answer. That way it doesn't ruin it for everybody else that's trying to guess. But other than that, Ruben, do you have a question for us?
It's not really a question. In fact, It isn't. This is more. I'm going to read a review from a friend of mine for a certain film that came out, because I'm pretty sure you this won't be on the best thing you watch. It's just something funny. So comment on what you think about this movie. Have you seen the others? So this friend of mine, his name is Ian Thompson. You can check him out on IMDb. When it comes to movies, I think he's got some weight in what he says. because he's the DIT, he's the digital image technician, means he's in charge of all the footage. He backs it up, he puts it where it needs to be, gets it back in the camera if they're using cards, so Haunting in Venice, Heart of Stone, Black Mirror, The Flash, Meg 2, Silo, Indiana Jones, Little Mermaid, House of Dragons, The Sandman. Wow. Fairly big titles there that he's worked on. Okay, so he recently saw Expendables 4. All right, so this is his review.
This is totally on my best of list. What are you talking about?
Okay, Stallone returns as the human embodiment of a classic rock CD from 2006 found in most motorway services. W.H. Smith's joined by regular Jason Statham, who plays a pair of balls possessed by the spirit of an angry Hugh Grant. Also returning is Lundgren's Gunnar, who shows us sobriety is for the failed and that alcoholism is cool in 2023. Randy Coltrane, who can piss through metal doors. Okay. This time round, the team face Iko Uwais, about as threatening as a disappointing fart in an original plot to start World War III. However, a twist reveals the real villain to be the VFX producers, who pocketed the budget and gave us PlayStation 3 level of effects. Joining the gang this time are Megan Fox, who plays Megan Fox, whose mascara would repel the sharpest knife. Curtis 50 Cent Jackson, who might be the same character from Escape Plan, wasn't really paying attention. A younger and clearly not as expensive piss enthusiast Antonio Banderas, who didn't make the poster, and I might eventually look up on IMDb eventually. Also, another sexy lady, which is great because, the boys are back in town. Tony Jaa is the sole redeeming factor to this mess, and I particularly wanted the ceiling to collapse on me after 10 minutes. One Corona is not enough. I warn you. 85% shot on a cargo ship carrying wooden planes. 5 stars out of 83 stars.
Oh, that is cruel but accurate.
Yeah. It's just like, dude did not enjoy this movie.
No, I would love to hear what everybody else thought. Did you spend your money on it? I said don't spend your money on it.
I didn't venture out after I saw your review. I was like, I'm gonna wait until I'm drunk and it's on TV one day.
Yeah, no, I mean, I didn't pay for it and I wanted my money back, It's just
time and money back. Please pay me to watch this.
Yeah, yeah, I'll be discussing that later.
All right, cool. Should we jump into the best thing we watched?
Yeah. You want to go first?
Sure. Okay. I think this one is pretty obvious. I'm pretty sure this is going to be on your list, but from the John Wick universe, the Continental, I know you and I have both seen the 3 episodes. It's very interesting that each episode is kind of an event of its own. Not all out like subsequent. The first episode is out and then we're getting, I think it's every week or close to.
Yeah,
like every
once
Friday.
Each Friday.
Yeah. They're about an hour and a half depending on the episodes. They feel like an event, a TV event, which is really nice. I would say that you could totally watch them as 3 together. It's quite nice actually to watch them like a long movie.
4.5-hour movie.
Yeah, like a Return of the King's extended edition. Mm-hmm. It's that sort of thing. But when it comes to the aesthetic feeling, it's different to the John Wick films, but you still have the John Wick feeling in it. So like, because they were going for a disco noir. I was reading this, like you get the scripts or the producer's notes and they give you some like to read this if you're reviewing them, and said like the theme that we're going for is disco noir, and I was like, is that a thing? Totally a thing in this series. Like you get the martial arts, but you get the funky soundtrack and the clothes and how they dress definitely places you in that kind of that mood, that feeling. But I think it's a grower because I enjoyed the first one, but I enjoyed the second one more. And then the third one really helps solidify what the first and second part were about. So if you're still not on board just yet, the story is there, but you kind of have to let it build itself as a completion trilogy, which is why I say it's kind of nice to watch all three together. Although I think like the martial arts is incredible, like the fighting sequences are great. No one seems to be as skilled as John Wick, but they are definitely those that that handle themselves crazily and survive things that they shouldn't survive, like John Wick does. When you're in the universe, everybody, you do wonder, like, is there anybody normal in this? I'm not sure there is. Everybody has some sort of skill or knows somebody that's, might be an assassin or, building a weapon for an assassin or, you have a job in something. I thought this was a lot of fun. What did you think of the story?
I agree. I had fun with it as well. It had shortcomings, which I can talk about in a second, but it was, the action I thought was good, and it was filmed well, and it felt exciting and energetic. And it wasn't just one person who was doing the action. I mean, you had several people who came in, and we had some central villains outside of Mel Gibson. So Mel Gibson is the big baddie in this, and he's
so
unhinged.
Over the top. Yeah.
Oh, he is.
He's a
you
character.
can tell that he was. Yeah, he was loving it though,
yeah,
right?
He's a villain.
It was almost, and it's kind of like what he played in Expendables 3,
for sure.
Where
totally,
he
actually
just okay, I'm gonna go nuts, and I'm gonna own it.
He's gonna go super villain. Yeah.
And you're like, okay, I totally buy this. This works. Good, go for that. But we have these twins who I don't even know if they speak ever.
I love the twins. They were so good.
I actually wanted more of them.
Yes.
A
little bit reminded me of the Matrix twins with the dreads. They have that kind of the aura about them. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and they also, they have the black trench coats.
Yeah.
And all in black and stuff. So it was cool. I mean, and the first time we meet them, you're like, huh, you're a little weird. Okay. I think I'm going to like you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the action was really good there. I thought that was a lot of fun. I do agree. Like the action builds as each episode goes along. And so you really get a good payoff at the end.
Episode 3's payoff was great.
Oh yeah, it was huge. Yeah. Well, and I like that they did with Colin Waddell as Winston. I like that he has some skills a little bit.
Yeah, but he's not. Yeah, he's not those guys, but his skills are used elsewhere. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, and which then matches, And I wasn't sure about him at the very beginning. I was like, I don't know if I buy you yet. But by the end, I was like, okay, I can.
You see,
I can do that.
Yeah.
And there's a line that was shown in the trailer, that nods to the current films. It's like, bring me all the guns, or
it's cool, like nods to the Matrix and things. Yeah.
I agree. There are some big character conveniences and protection.
Oh, for sure.
Which there was one where I wouldn't have wanted the outcome of peril,
right?
But the absence of peril in that I felt cheated,
right?
Because I didn't want everybody to be able to, slough things off, and not everybody does. I'm not saying that everybody can survive, but there was one in particular where, I don't know. And you and I had chatted even that, some of the storylines, they go off on a little bit of tangents here and there.
Yeah, they don't seem necessary even. Like, it doesn't further the plot of the main arc at all, or characters, really. Yeah.
Yeah, no. There is one character, and let me look her up really quick. She doesn't like guns, okay? And she plays... Yeah. So she... let's see here. Sorry, I can't type and speak and think all at the same time because I have like one brain cell. Jessica Elaine, and she plays Lou, and so she doesn't like guns, but she is fierce with the martial arts.
Dude, she was so good.
On the street that one time outside, she's surrounded by guys and a car. it was a lot of fun.
Oh, it was such a good fight scene.
Yeah.
In fact, every time she was on screen, I really enjoyed it because I believed that she could do that. You know, she carried herself in a way that you weren't worried like, oh, this is not going to be good. You're just like, oh, I wonder what she's going to do next. What other thing is she going to use? If she's not using guns, then what is she using? She likes knives, but she uses her environment, which is awesome.
So good. Yeah. So I also, like you, binged it all at once. And so I think, I mean, the whole story is cohesive and it's a lot. It is good. I think I enjoyed it more because I watched it all at once versus each individual episode. But I do think that there's enough in each one to build the story. And thankfully, they're over an hour each so that you don't feel like you've just been cheated out of time and you're watching something very, very short.
Yeah, I mean, I was thinking back to the original days when Game of Thrones was on, and every week it felt like a TV event. Yeah. This has that similar feeling. I imagine you go and watch a TV event. It's, you know, it's set in the world. It didn't answer the questions that I wanted. This is the history of the Continental, but that's literally all the information we really get into this world. And they make up some other convenience story marks for them to have like battle on continental ground, that kind of things. But it's like you haven't really told us about the high table and the intricacies of the mystery that goes around. That's kind of what I wanted. I guess they're keeping that for if they do more of that world, or maybe they don't even know because they've just built a shell and they're still building it out.
Sure.
Ballerina's coming.
I'm excited for that.
Keanu Reeves has officially said he asked the director to kill him off. So I think officially he didn't really want to come back and do another John Wick. So I'm interested to see if he does.
Yeah. And again, we've talked about this when number 4 came out. If they don't, I mean, the story would have to be so good.
Yeah.
Because it's been such a nice arc. He got what he needed and wanted. You know, I mean, you could continue within the world of John Wick, like they are,
like the
Ballerina, and even like take the post-credit scene in John Wick 4.
Yes.
There's a way to, continue.
The guy with the shotguns, with the dog,
Mr. Nobody.
I loved him. He was a great character. Would love to watch movies with him. Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah. So we'll see. That'd be fun. That was a great choice.
So what's first on your list then?
This one has not come out and will not come out for a little while.
Okay.
And so I'm going to talk not about spoilers at all.
Okay.
At all. This is The Fall of the House of Usher, a limited series on Netflix.
I've seen the first episode of this.
You're in for a treat. It is from one of our favorite horror directors, Mike Flanagan.
Yeah.
This is his final project with Netflix, at least.
Oh, because he's going to Amazon
agreement.
After that, isn't he? Yeah,
he is. Yeah. Now it's not to say that he won't come back or things of his won't be on Netflix, but he had a production deal and a story deal with them, and I think it soured after Midnight Club because he only got to do one season.
He wanted to do another one. He had planned to do another one. Yeah.
Yeah. And speaking of Midnight Club, so that had a lot of like first time actors, which I thought was great. Three of them, outside of like his regulars, like 3 brand new ones, come back into for
the House of Usher.
For House of Usher. Yeah,
I noticed. I was looking at all of his work and then just placing everybody. I was like, dude, this is like your favorite. You just brought your family back together.
It's who's who.
Yeah.
I mean, there's Doctor Sleep. Some of those, not just the Netflix ones. No, I mean, some of his actual just movies and stuff. And so it is. It's really you've been in here too. You've been in here too. Which I think it makes for a good feel for the story because the director knows all of the actors, and the actors know what the director wants.
They know the feel he wants. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is it is not the traditional The Fall of the House of Usher by Edgar Allan Poe.
Yes.
That is like the wrapping that you have. Yeah, exactly. But each episode is a different Poe story. that are all interwoven to be cohesive, to make sense, to tell a larger narrative.
I love that.
Yeah,
it's great.
I was blown away that how they were able to do that, because that was very creative. It allowed each episode to focus on a central character, and then have fun with that story arc. There is a good deal of violence in this. There are some gnarly things that happen.
Dude, just in episode 1, there's a feeling of they're telling story. There's a bit of a court case, and there's a moment. I won't say where because I don't want to spoil it, but it's just normal, and it scared the crap out of my wife and I. We were just like, holy god damn it. And I was like, oh, it's one of those series.
Yeah, do you remember like in Hill House where you would be seeing a character doing something, and like it's a static shot, the character's doing something, and then after a little bit of time you see something in the background just moving. Like, whoa. Yep. I love that he does that.
Yeah.
So I need to go back through and see if I can find the Oculus mirror. There are
of course, it's got to be in.
Yeah, there are a lot of mirrors in this show, but I was looking for the frame. That's what I was looking for.
And he'll do something different. It won't be like a bed frame or anything. Yeah,
exactly.
It'll be elsewhere.
Yeah. So I need to go back and scan through that, because I wasn't like just intently looking for that.
Love that film, Oculus.
Oh, dude, yeah, so good.
Yeah.
I think this is, so it's going to all drop at once. I do, like, as far as a negative goes, I wish that we would have gotten more depth on some of the characters to understand more of their backstory, which creates more tension or understanding for their current state.
Yeah.
And for what they're, like, why they are how they are. A big example is Samantha Sloyan, who was wonderful in Midnight Mass. She's the and she plays the absolute unhinged devotee. She's also in Hush, which was outstanding. I saw Hush just last year for the first time. I love her. I don't think she gets as much presence and story development as I wanted from her, because I like her as an actress and I like what she was doing with the character, because it's weird and it's and there's something there, but we don't totally get it. And which I think it would just be more intriguing, more interesting, more well-rounded for her.
He does that, but he normally explains it. So like Midnight Mass, we don't get it until the end, and then we're like, oh, yeah.
Yeah. And there's some glimpses here and there within that, but it's not as full, I think, as it probably could have been. That doesn't ruin the the watching experience or the enjoyment or anything else.
The caliber of actors in this show are fantastic. Yeah.
It is some of the kills are creative. Some of the violence is like, wow. And it's a very dark series. I mean,
well, it's Edgar Poe, so yeah. And then it's Mike Flanagan.
Exactly. And there are some moments where you're like, no.
Oh, really? Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's definitely worth it. Comes out in the middle of October. I think like 10th? On the 12th or the 13th or something like that. Yeah, that there. Week. So absolutely put this on your watch list. If you enjoy, well executed horror with beautiful visuals, and flawed characters that you will love to hate. This
nice.
Yeah. So
awesome.
What's next?
So this is a Netflix series that dropped this week. Chris, you're gonna love this. I really hope you find time to watch this. I understand because it's 9 episodes. It's long. When I first started watching, I was like, I'll get through this. It's down at 6, and I was like, oh no. It's 9. And they're long. Some of them are over an hour each episode. So Song of Bandits, new Korean Western martial arts story. But don't let that put you off if you don't like martial arts or even Westerns. The quality of story that you get in this is so brutal, so dark. So it's like the first episode they build on the character that you're going to want to root for. But it takes the whole episode for you to root for this character because they're essentially what they've done is very wrong. They start off with the character going to face off a member of a family saying, please kill me because, you have every right to. I've come to atone for my sins. Oh. And then there's a building of where he doesn't die. It's not really spoiled because he is like the leader of the Bandits, which is called Song of Bandits. And he builds his own team because these particular group of people are shunned. So it's a mixture of cultures like Japanese, Western, Korean, and they are looked down as less than slaves almost. And so they're trying to fight to survive. It's proper Western gunplay. So it's like a weird gun fu because you have someone using like a Winchester. They'll swing it around in a flip to like cock it, but then actually use it as a weapon in a martial arts sequence and then shoot. It has some of the most brutal but brilliant fight sequence. I love it when they do this because you're mixing, like if you think Serenity sort of or Firefly sort of almost sci-fi. It's not sci-fi at all, but it has that sort of feeling that there's mystery surrounding this Western, but then you're putting like different cultures in it. And the reason why I say Serenity and Firefly, because there's Mandarin cultures like kind of mixed in languages. So here you have multiple cultures in this Western with the martial arts, but just with a harrowing story. I still haven't seen all of it, so I can't give you a full idea because it is that long. But what I've seen of it, I just am in love with it. Like I have 2 Korean series I'm watching at the moment. There's one on Disney that has 20 series, and that's called we were watching it. What was that called? Oh my gosh, they have like superpowers. Adults.
Moving?
Yeah, Moving. So I'm working my way through the rest of the episodes now. I'm almost there, and I'll probably talk about like the 20th episode next week. Nice. But this is the other Korean, like I'm just so happy that Korean content isn't getting worse, it's getting as good. The
Nice.
quality they've been putting out, and this is up there. Netflix is not talking about the series at all, like they're barely promoting. They used to, like considering they've just put $1 billion like a fundraising into like getting more of the stuff. I thought this would be up there because the quality from the sets, the costume design, the acting is so emotional. Like you 100% invested in the bad guys getting their comeuppance because what they've done is so horrific. It's just the unjustness of some of the stuff that you see from the beginning lead into, you understand they might be bandits, but sometimes you get these films like let's be bad guys, but they're not technically the bad guys. They have to go outside the law to bring justice because justice is not always inside of the law. So that's this story. It's so good. Yeah.
Where does it take place?
Oh, yeah. So it's that's a good question. It's not modern by any means.
Well, and is it like the American Old West, or is it in like Korea or something during that same time?
Yes.
I asked 2 questions and you said yes.
A group of Joseons in the northeast China.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it's still Western. It's all like dirt and old kind of.
Okay. How's the pacing? Does it feel like a Western where there's an intensity, but it's still slow and just going at a constant pace?
Yes and no. I think it has a good pace. There's a lot of character development that you need, but it's always surrounded by, you don't know what's going to happen from one moment to the next because there's so many. They're always like fighting uphill. Like there's very little people that will help out or are strong enough because there's so much bad guys that there are other bandits, and then there's just like the military or Japanese that are taking over. So So because you have that consistently, the pacing is slow. It's there are some comedic moments. There's like a levity occasionally, which is nice because it's always so dark. A couple of the characters you're happy to see when they're on. You're like, okay, this is going to be a little bit lighter. Yeah, I really like it. It's good.
Sweet. That's cool. Yeah, it is on my list to watch. Yeah, yesterday when I turned on Netflix, I was like, ooh, okay, this is like new for me, and I've done basically everything that I need to watch and everything. And then I went and I said, oh, it's 9 episodes. Okay. Oh my gosh, they're an hour each. Yeah. It's like instantly defeating. Ugh, so
I can't do it, guys. This is over 9 hours. Over 9,000. Yeah.
Yeah, no. So I do want to see it. So I'm glad to hear that it's really, really good, and that you think I will enjoy it, which is even better because you know me, and so that'll cool. Next on my list, you've already talked about this movie because it came out and premiered during Fright Fest London, and it's a British horror mystery drama supernatural thing.
Oh,
it's weird, and I'm not going to talk about it a lot because you covered it so well. But it's called The Moor.
I'm so glad you watched this.
Yeah, I haven't done a review on it yet. It follows a grieving father who's looking for his son who was abducted 25 years before. He's teamed up with a girl who was with the boy when he was taken, and now she's kind of helping him a little bit, at least documenting his search, because it's 25 years later. He's given up, or he has not given up. The police have given up.
Yeah,
but the father believes it's in the moor. And so it's this, like, it's not all bog, but it is this covered in fog, very treacherous terrain. I mean, you just have these crevasses in the ground that just appear. So if you're not looking and slowly placing your feet exactly where you need to go every single time and paying attention, you just, fall
also
down
don't
10
know
feet.
Which part is bog because the land is like movable, which I loved. I was like, if you step on it and it goes, you're like, oh crap.
yeah, it is gnarly. Well, the first half of the movie is solidly a mystery and a drama, because we're just watching the dad, grieving and obsessed with finding his son's remains, so that also he can help convict or keep the supposed perpetrator of this in jail. Like, it was weird. Some of it looks like a little bit of found footage, because the girl who is documenting everything, sometimes we watch it on her computer as she's editing it together. So you get these little splices that tell a story. And one of the people, which it was like, well, yeah, he was sentenced to life, which is 25 years. What? That makes no sense. Those two sentences, I can't reconcile.
It goes
in my head.
25 years to life. Yeah.
Yeah, but that yeah. So anyway, so you have the mystery, and there's the hint of supernatural within this, maybe, maybe, because the Moor itself is a massive character within the story.
Yeah, I love that.
And there's a point where we're shown on a map what the
oh my gosh,
what
the
Moor
scale
is.
of it.
Yeah, and you're like, because the character is like, you think that's the Moor, and you're like, wait, what? And so you kind of guess what's coming, and it's just like, it's impressive, and
you're
horrifying. All at
well,
the
you're
same
never
time.
finding anybody in there.
Anything, yeah. This does, though, take a spiritual, supernatural bend to it, and then there are some effects that we get that are just like, hope. I'm going to stand up and applaud, because I was not expecting that. There's some that are just like instant scares, Other times I would jump because of a scene transition where it just utilized a natural sound, but shifted, locations and everything. And you're like, whoa, wait, what? And so it was clever in that the ending, which you had talked about, it's an ending.
Sure is.
I liked the ending, but it was not what I was expecting.
You didn't think it was going to do that?
No, I didn't think it was going that way.
Yeah.
One thing I noticed, and you may have said this when you were talking about it, but there's a retired cop who is interviewed by the girl. He's played by Bernard Hill, who is Theoden in Lord of the Rings. It was so good to see him. It's funny. He's got a gray beard and everything, and it's cut short, except you can't see his lips. I paused it to show my wife. I'm like, he has no lips because literally his beard comes right up, and his mustache. So when he closes his mouth, it's just all hair. So good. So this one, I don't know when it's going to hit on demand or even get a wide theatrical
it's soon,
release.
I think. Well, digital.
I hope so.
I'm pretty sure it's soon. Yeah.
Because this is, it's 2 hours and 2 minutes. It's slower. You know what I mean? Like it's
slow, but you don't mind it because the story is so mysterious. It does keep you hanging on. Like what's happening?
Yeah, that dread and that mystique keeps building together.
Also, the unsung heroes, and you should count how many you can see are the sheep in the moors.
Dude. Well, and some things are shown in the moor outside of the sheep.
Yeah.
And I was like, is that real? I looked it up. Yeah, that's real. I mean, not necessarily the one that's shown, but these things are... So it's not like out of the ordinary. The sheep were creepy, but so it has some really good visuals, some really good well done effects. Minimal, I think, too. Though that's the other thing.
Yeah, because it has a tangible feeling of being authentically real. Yeah, even with the kind of supernatural element, you're still like,
yeah, which I think makes it a little bit even creepier.
Yeah, for sure.
Because it sits so firmly in the realm of what we believe is absolutely, we can touch it and feel it and see it. And so, yeah.
I totally want to watch this again to see if I can catch anything else, like in the background when they're visiting the moor and stuff.
Well, because there's so many times in this, even inside like a house or something, where the camera will just slowly push in on seemingly nothing. Yeah. And I'm sitting there like scanning. I'm like, what am I supposed to see? Am I missing something?
What is it? The music suggests there's something.
Exactly. And sometimes there isn't anything. And then other times you see like a glimpse of something and you're like, did I really see that? And so yeah, definitely check this one out when you have an opportunity.
Nice.
Yeah.
Next on my best thing I watched this week is the final season of Sex Education. It's season 4. They wrapped it up really well. The last episode is like an hour and 25 minutes, so it's a big goodbye to the characters you've been watching for a long time. But on my thumbnail for this review, I labeled it therapy session. It feels very, very much like they've gone away from sex education and more made it therapy about every issue you could have in life. There's a lot going in here that they tackle and have like monologue, exposition, preaching moments where they're trying to cover like so much. There's a big story about a person that is trans, that is transitioning and what that entails, and it like the hardships or what that actually means, and from their perspective, and then from those that are the friends' perspective of like how that influences each other, and then from the parents' perspective, so you get to see like all sides. Gillian Anderson is a sex therapist character in this, and she's just had a baby. And it shows how, because she's a single mom, she's leaning on her son Otis a lot to almost not be a son, but be like a surrogate sort of father or helper around the house. But he just needs his mom. So there's all these themes, and it just chucks you in. And then you're still on board for Otis trying to be the sex therapist in a new school because that school was shut down. And it's just like here. It just chucks everything. And you're totally on board, like every episode, because you've known these characters, you've been on this journey for them for a long time. There are times where 100% it feels like they're preaching at you. Like, this is how society should be and could be if we all spoke in this way or stopped like, hey, you've hurt me this way. Let's talk about it. But unfortunately, humans don't do that. That's not reality. But they do tackle things that you wish people would be like, even it wouldn't be great if we were actually this mature or okay with people's differences. There's an actor who plays a father and was the previous principal, and he basically through the seasons has lost his wife and his son because of how he's acted around them. His son is bi, likes girls and guys, and his son came out to him and basically said like, I like guys, and started going out with character, and his dad lost the plot. And so the father figure and son relationship, that's a big kind of theme. There's a lot of redemption storylines in this season because it's saying goodbye. It's beautifully shot, and it's a weird aesthetic. Like the clothes feel like they're somewhere stuck in between the 70s and 80s, but it's now. The themes of the houses, like everything, it's a weird way to go, but that's the aesthetic that they've stuck with. The Otis's best friend is our new Doctor Who, and he's phenomenal in this. He has an interesting story. I've not seen this done before, and I thought it was really brave. Okay, he's gay and very flamboyant and loud, and the character you want at a party that's going to liven things up. You know, is the life of the party. But his family is one, I think it's Nigerian or Jamaican. I'm not sure. Ethnicity, very kind of black family with. Am I still on? Yes, I am. Yep. Sorry. A big religious overtone, like you go to church on Sunday, you get baptized, all of that. And so he's trying to come to terms with what a lot of Christians believe, or a lot of churches believe, that you can't be gay, and balancing how much is a big part of his life because you have that community. And so it showcases a lot of that. I thought it was really powerful. And then by the end, you see him balancing him wanting to be really a big part of Christianity, but also being gay. And I thought it was a really brave storyline to do. And I thought, I was like, come on, do it. It was so nice to see the way they incorporated. So they weren't like saying Christianity sucks and it's stupid. They were saying they got some things to learn, and we could incorporate it in a beautiful way. Great. So there's so many themes that I was just like, it's a lot. My brain is a lot. And the ending wasn't the happy ending that I wanted, but it was the realistic ending that you'd expect. So
is it satisfying?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Just not what you want.
Not what I wanted.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough. And how many episodes is each season? Or
8,
is this
I think.
Okay, nice. And so it's done. This is
Done.
wrapped up now.
That's
the
it.
Whole thing.
Nice, complete. 4 seasons, good story, massive character progression, very entertaining and funny. It can go from moving, like really like you in tears. Gillian Anderson's performance of her being a mom and a sex therapist, and like what she shows, she's brilliant. You can go from like just absolute wanting to bawl your eyes out, then to see Otis trying to figure out how he can get a boner. You know, it's it's funny. It's good. Yeah.
Nice. Okay. Cool. Now that it's done, I may have to watch it as a whole.
I think you'll be surprised. Like once you're in a couple of you're hooked. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Right on. I don't have anything else.
Okay.
On my
list. Neither do I.
Do you?
Yeah. No.
Oh, okay. Well then, hey. Thanks. We're done, I guess. You know, stay tuned if you're going to listen on the audio. Well, there's more. If you're watching the video, head over to the audio. The links are in the description because we have the extended full version of our podcast there. We're going to be talking about the worst thing we watched or something that didn't make our list. Mine, just as because I already said it, it's going to be Expendables 4, and that was the worst thing I watched this week. Ruben will discuss what didn't make his list or what's on there. We're also going to hit up a movie that we both had never seen before, discuss that. I think should be a fun conversation there.
Yeah.
It's actually a very recent movie, just came out. No one will
one
save you.
No one will
Hulu.
save you. Yeah.
Yeah. We hit up entertainment news and just the things that are coming out in the next week in case you want to put those on your watch list calendar. Don't forget, we do have a Patreon, patreon.com/thebeardedones, £1, $30, $50, something like that. Gets you entry into that. There are over 60 videos. A new one coming out this week. The top 3 movies that we love that everybody else hates, which I think is going to be fun. But there are a few outside the paywall also. And, so you can just get a sense of that. And then there are tiers within there that give you different options and different levels of access. We do thank the patrons that we have because they're awesome and it's a great little community there.
Yeah.
Let's see. Oh, all the YouTube-y stuff, right? Like, share, subscribe. Ruben with the Ruby Tuesday. Me, Chris, Movies and Munchies. Hey, we'll see you next week, all right? Take care.